When you flip on your TV today, you probably see what's going on in the world, the wars that need to be stopped, the problems that need to be faced. But we are actually amidst a silent epidemic that almost no one talks about, and that is the war on testosterone. Because every single year since 1980, we've seen a drop off. Every single year, on average, the male testosterone has slowly crept down to where it is today. And while it is still at a point where men can have kids, and we're still at a point where men can still act as men, the future is scary. I don't think you realize how scary this is, bro. There was a study in 2016, that measured average male grip strength. And grip strength is a very good indicator of testosterone because the harder you grip, the higher testosterone most men have. And in 2016, the average man between 20 and 36 was able to grip 98 pounds of force, right? Not too bad. But if you look at when this started being tested in 1986, 30 years ago, it was at 117 pounds. So in just 30 years, we've seen the average male grip strength drop by 20 pounds, and it's scary to think what it's going to look like in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So today I'm making this video to educate you, bro, because I don't want you to be a man with low test, because quite frankly, in the future, we could see 1 in 10 men with very low testosterone levels, to the point where they probably can't even conceive children. I don't think you realize how severe this is. You're probably watching this trying to optimize your test, but I don't think you realize how severe this is. Because you think, like down the line, I'm going to want to have kids. But just think about that. You physically can't have a kid because of some choices you've made in your life. Some things that most people didn't even tell you about. You just tried to be the best you can, but all these things that no one tells us about are limiting and almost crossing out our ability to have children one day. Now I can say that ever since I started implementing these changes that I'm going to say right now in this video, I felt better. My gym performance has been the best it's ever been. I've literally went from 155 incline barbell bench for struggling 3 reps to being able to get 205 reps yesterday for 3, could have got 4. I've literally added 50 pounds to my incline barbell bench in 2 months. I've added over 50 pounds on my squat. I'm weighing in at 185 pounds, feeling the best, the strongest, the most like a man I've ever felt in my entire life. People have even told me my voice has gotten deeper, because if you were a real OG on this channel, you know my voice has always been very high pitched in comparison to other men. And I actually think the reason it's like that is because I didn't make these switches sooner, because I was a man of very low testosterone when I was younger, but now I can confidently say I have high testosterone. And I'm working on doing some tests in the following weeks and months to prove that and show you that this stuff is all true. So the way this video is going to work today, bro, I'm going to be talking about things you should be aware of, choices you should be making, and things you should be thinking about. And we're going to start at surface level, and we're going to dive continuously deeper into the iceberg of testosterone and the silent epidemic. So let's get started. The first thing that I want you to realize, bro, is sleep is literally the pyramid of health. Now, we say we're having 7 to 9 hours of sleep, right? We accumulate 7 to 9 hours to get to bed to sleep. But I want you to think about this. Like, your head doesn't go to sleep instantly right when your head hits the pillow. You just don't. It doesn't work for me. It probably doesn't work for you. There's probably only 5% of the people who can literally flip the switch like that. So it starts by allocating 8 to 10 hours of sleep, even though you're probably going to get 7 to 9. Have a nighttime routine. For me, that looks like turning off my phone an hour before I go to bed. I take a warm shower. I clean myself. I clean my face. I read. I dim the lights in my room. All these switches are helping me sleep quicker and deeper. I'm at the point where I can literally go to bed, like try to sleep, and then 10 minutes later I'm out. It's not even it's like clockwork. But sleep, if you're not sleeping, you're going to have a very tough time performing in life, having good testosterone, and just being productive with what you're doing. So sleep is the pyramid. Start with sleep as the bottom and build up as we go into this video. Next up, just be active. So many people in the world today, in America particularly, have this C-shaped syndrome where they're just on their phone, their devices like this. We're never more sedentary than we've ever been before. We've never been this sedentary in our history as men. As humans, the average man today is overweight. The average man that we look at, the average man is overweight. That's so sad to think about. The average man is fat. The average man If he looks down, he sees his stomach hanging over. Be active, and whatever that means to you, just do that thing. That could be, lifting weights. I love lifting weights, and for me, I'm doing that 4 to 5 days a week. Andrew Huberman and a lot of scientists talk about 3 days lifting at least of heavy intensity weight training. That's really good for your test, really good for your immune system, really good for your body health in general. But you can also go on walks, go on runs, do HIIT cardio, fight if you like martial arts. Like, just be active. I also love going on 10-minute walks after my meals because it helps with not only nutrient partitioning, absorption of what I'm eating, but I also just feel better. I feel lighter. Because I don't know about you, but like a lot of people I've noticed, they sit down after their meal, they lay on the couch, and I used to do that too. And I'd always have stomach issues and be like, man, my stomach hurts, I don't want to even get up. But if you just start doing something small, like a 10-minute walk, you would be amazed at how much better you feel. And if you do 10-minute walks after 3 meals, that's 30 minutes of walking, and it doesn't even feel like anything. It's pretty easy, to be honest. Next up, avoid alcohol and weed. I don't think you need me to explain this to you, bro, but avoid alcohol and weed. They're not doing anything for you, and you know they're not good for you. Next up, stress. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned about stress is from The Way of the Superior Man. Now, I don't know if the video that I've recorded on this book, because it's my favorite and most influential book I've ever read, I don't know if that's out yet. If it is, it's up there. If not, it's soon to come, so stay patient. But breathing, so many people today, most people are just getting these shallow, breaths where they're just going in a state of and once you learn to kind of open up, to sit up straight, and you really breathing in deeply through your nose and out through your mouth, you feel 100 times better. You also feel more confident. It's kind of weird how that works, but you just feel more confident too. I've noticed that whenever I have stress and I just take a few minutes to focus on my breathing, almost all that stress just evaporates, like almost instantly. So get deep breaths whenever you're stressed, before an intense set at the gym, before you're going into a presentation. Just breathe. So many people are just stressed all the time, getting these shallow breaths. Like, get that oxygen in you by taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can actually, if you're wanting to get more into this, you can try to absorb all the good when you're breathing in, and then breathe out all the bad. So that's a little thing you can think about just mentally. Last one of the basics before we dive deeper is going to be sunlight. Literally every single cell in your entire body, every single piece of your body, your skin cells, all that stuff benefits from sunlight. There's not the single thing in your body that doesn't benefit from sunlight. So with moderation, of course, get as much exposure as you can, show as much skin as you can, obviously being appropriate, not being a total weirdo, right? So that's the basics of getting, doing things to be able to optimize your testosterone for higher levels to perform, to just feel good as a man. And now we're going to get deeper into the more exciting stuff that you've probably not heard before. The first of these is just eat natural foods. I could tell you the list of foods to eat, the foods not to eat, but just eat natural foods with one ingredient. Most of our foods today are processed, not in bakeries, but in laboratories. They're literally made no different than the chemicals that you're cleaning your house with, which is also a bad thing. The chemicals we're using to disinfect, literally bleach, bro. That's the stuff you're eating, and you don't think of it because it's safe to eat, but it doesn't take a lot for food to be safe to eat in America. It's very sad. You should be eating the foods that your ancestors ate, one ingredient foods, because that's just how it should be in the first place. You shouldn't have 20, 30 ingredients on a piece of bread, on a baked good. That's kind of messed up if you really think about it. My diet today is literally 80% animal based, if I'm being honest. For fats, I'm just eating, actually not even just for fats, all that I'm really eating is a lot of butter, a lot of eggs, a lot of beef, a lot of salmon, a lot of steak. That's what I'm eating. That's the bulk of my diet right there. The other 20 cents probably fruit and some carbs because I am on the bulk. But I just feel so good, and I don't know if there's any science proving this right now, but just eating animal based and eating those whole foods, and if you can, opting for grass fed and just that good stuff, I just feel so good. You hear about red meat being bad and high cholesterol and stuff, but theoretically I should be not doing very well, but I'm just feeling so good. I'm feeling so good. I'm eating 8 eggs a day. I'm eating a pound of beef. I'm eating a lot of a lot of butter to saute that stuff in, and I feel absolutely incredible. I can't really explain it. You just gotta try it. Also, on the matter of like foods, if you can, opt for organic, because when you're not opting for organic, you're getting hit with artificial chemicals called pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers that again disrupt your endocrine system and again are gonna disrupt your testosterone and ability to have high male testosterone levels. Also, additives and preservatives are in those processed foods. You got to realize that. You got to realize that muffin, like if you bake a muffin with good ingredients, some flour, some eggs, some blueberries, some like salt, some sugar, like it's probably only going to last on your countertop for like 3-4 days max. But that muffin you're buying at the grocery store, let alone like your Twinkie and that shit, it's literally like being like not changing state condition months, weeks on end. Like that's kind of messed up. The natural food you should be putting into your body should be getting in worse condition after just sitting on your countertop, because they're natural foods. There's reasons they're not, and that's what you're putting into your body. Things that aren't being broken down, things that are just full of like all this like artificial stuff so they don't deteriorate. Like it's really sad to think about. I think for me, once I started cutting out processed foods, that's been the impetus for me just feeling better as a whole. I feel more sharp, I feel better, I feel stronger. I don't feel as slow, I don't feel as like lethargic. Those processed foods are not made in bakeries, they're made in labs, bro. I'm trying to hit that home. It's messed up. And if you're like Alex, I want it, but my mom, we can't afford that stuff. First of all, like no hate on you or your family at all, but when you're opting to buy the foods at your grocery store, the like raw ingredients, just like the fruits, the vegetables, maybe the eggs, a little bit of meat, like that's very inexpensive compared to how much you cost eating out at restaurants, at McDonald's and stuff. Like it's so much cheaper. And the stuff, if you think about it, at the grocery store that's expensive is the stuff on the middle aisles, the processed stuff, the things that humans and machines are interfering with. The raw foods, as I said, the fruits, the vegetables, the eggs, and some meat, like that's not that expensive. Obviously some meat can add up, but like just like in retrospect, think about that, like how much you're spending on like cheap shitty food when you could be going to the grocery store asking your mom, who's probably going to be like, I'm actually very happy that you're trying to better your health. Here's a little bit of extra money to buy your stuff. Like, I promise you, your mom's going to say that. So just make that extra step. Next up, we're going to talk about plastics. And I could make a whole video because this is very severe. And I should probably get more serious than I am right now because this is very severe. If you look around your room right now, you might think, okay, there's probably some plastic, but there's literally like 50 to 100 plastic things that you see everywhere. Your toothbrush, your water bottle, your pencils that you're holding, even like your school cards that you use to like check in at schooling, like your binders, those are all made of plastic. And plastic is one of the biggest endocrine disruptors, one of the biggest things that's like limiting your ability to have high male testosterone, and it doesn't stop there. It's also in the clothes that you're wearing, those stretchy Gymshark materials, that Nike compression underwear, it's all full of plastic. And it's bad to wear that stuff in the first place, but when you're wearing it in the gym, you're sweating. You're basically absorbing more and more of those synthetically made fabrics into your system. And I'm not perfect. I'm trying to like slowly like change my wardrobe to only like being naturally produced stuff in terms of not plastic, because that polyester stuff, that's like made of plastic. You don't think of it, you think it's like an innovative material. Like it's made of plastic, no different than like a plastic bag right there. Like it's pretty sad you're wearing that stuff when you're working out. So you got to think about that because plastic is everywhere. Little things I'm also trying to do that you can definitely implement too as an actionable step is getting glass water bottles. This one right here, this blue one's from Germany. My uncle made it, so I don't think you could even get it if you tried. And being blue light, it actually allows less a light to come in than any like basic glass bottle. And because of that, it doesn't like stink. You don't get that like that smell after water sitting for a while. But at the very minimum, just get like a glass bottle. This one I'll list it on Amazon. It's just like $10-15. I use it in the gym. And just because like you're drinking a lot of water, you should be, at least as a living being. So like just invest into a glass bottle because you want to not be drinking in glass all day, because most bottles are made of like BPA plastics. I know you've heard like BPA free, like those Hilo mixers are like BPA free, bro, but like it's still plastic. It's made artificially. It's not naturally produced, and you're drinking that every single time you do it, let alone drinking hot beverages in plastics. Like that's just a huge no. So like definitely cut that out, bro. Let's talk about on the topic of plastic, non-stick pans, because I, as a young child, was like, man, this is super cool. Like humans have invented like non-stick pans. Like that shows how far we've come. But It's like all a lie. Those Teflon pans are like linked to cancer. Like linked to literally like linked to cancer, let alone like destroying, absolutely like fucking up your like testosterone as a male. Those things are made with chemicals so strong that nothing will stick to it. Like think about that, nothing sticks. Like how strong, how harmful do those things need to be? Those things are linked to cancer. Those there's like been documentaries where those people who live in those towns where those are manufactured, where those chemicals are in the water, those people are of like higher cancer, higher like health risks in almost any place. So throw out those plastic pans, those like Teflon pans, and just get like a nice like stainless steel pan that'll last you like 5 to 10 years. Because if you think about like our ancestors, I say that a lot, but like our ancestors were very healthy, like high test people. There wasn't like ancestors who had like soy boy level, like low test, who like felt like horrible all the time. Like our ancestors like were like real men. And if you think about how they were cooking their meat back in the day, they probably had like a stone that got hot and they had to throw like oil on it so it wouldn't stick, and then they'd fry their like steak, their beef, whatever on it. That's how it should be. It shouldn't like have chemicals so strong that it doesn't stick. Like it's just so messed up. So that's like on the topic of plastic. Also on the topic of plastics and BPAs are receipts. Recent science is showing us, thank God, because the receipts that you get at the store when you're checking out, you think like, oh, like it's just a receipt, I'll throw it away or whatever. But like that stuff is so bad, you shouldn't even touch it. You should politely decline, and like you're not gonna tell the clerk to like not like quit their job, but like that's how severe it is. I used to work at a grocery store for a few years, and I'm mad at myself that I was ignorant, that I didn't even know about how bad these BPA plastics are, because in that receipt, that's like literally like almost worse than any of the things I've talked about in this video. Those are linked directly to cancer. All that like synthetic stuff, when you pick it up, like you don't want to even touch it. Whenever you're at the store or at a restaurant, just like ask for no receipt. And if you do need one, maybe they can email it to you. If you need one, at the very least, just like use a napkin or something to like snatch it. But like you really don't want to touch it. I'm trying to hit that home because it's so bad, and you can dive into it. I think Huberman has talked about it. Chris Williamson has had some people on his podcast. Just don't touch it. Like thank me later. Your future self will thank you. The last thing that I want to talk about are the last three things: are the phone in your pocket, cold exposure, and water. Your phone, if you're anything like me, you've probably had it in your pocket for years. It's convenient. It's nice if someone calls you, it's right there. But that's literally like 2 inches from your balls, bro. Like just simple as that. It's like 2 inches from your balls. And not just that they found that it decreases sperm, decreases test, but it also puts in jeopardy your ability to have kids one day. And again, you don't think of it much now being a young man. Like I imagine most of you are watching this video like myself. But imagine being 30, having your woman, having enough financial stability, and you want to have a kid, but you just can't because of some choices you made in your life. Like you literally just can't have a child. You literally just can't have a child. The most natural thing, one of the most holy things, just having a child. You just can't do it. You just can't. You don't think of it right now, but your future self, that literally will like change you. That'll be like one of the hardest things you've gone through, because you want to have a child, you want to extend your bloodline, and you physically can't. So take your phone out of your pocket. At the very minimum, put it in your back pocket when you're walking around. Those little changes, they all add up. Cold exposure, one of the best ways to increase tests, but also just really good for your immune system, really good for you as a human being. Our society today, we're so warm. We're never cold. We never really have to struggle. So getting into some deliberately cold exposure and some cold environments can be great for you. My buddy and I were just talking about jumping in the lake here in Washington during the winter. It's 30 degrees outside. The lake is probably about the same, but we want to just do that hard stuff because like in the moment it's tough, but you feel great after it, because not only does it feel great when you do like deliberate cold exposure in general, but like just doing that tough thing where you don't want to, and then you realize you were able to conquer your fear. Like it feels really good. So deliberate cold exposure, really great. There's a lot of research on that by Huberman, by a lot of scientists. Just really good for us humans. Wim Hof too. Last one, water. I'm gonna make a whole video on this in another one, because I have a very nice water filter in Miami. Cause Miami city water is horrible. It's dog shit. I'm not gonna like say it's like poetic. I'm not gonna say it's nice, because it's not. It's like dog shit. Washington, where I live, we have natural water reserves from like what is it, like snowfall, so it's a little bit better. But water is like the main derivative of all organic life, so wouldn't it make sense that we get quality water into our systems? Like, we don't even think about that. We get whatever we can find, some cheap plastic shit at the grocery store. Like, invest in your water as much as you can. Most cities, actually, you can look up like London water, Miami water, Los Angeles water, and they'll tell you what's in your water. And a lot of that water has like girl contraceptives, birth control hormones in your water that you're drinking that are excreted when women are taking those birth control things. So you're drinking that, you're getting that in you, because our filters, our basic stuff, it gets some of it, but not all of it. So that's another huge thing. Water. Get good water. But what I want you to take away from this video is not that you should be fearful. You should just make some choices and be cognizant of some things that are going on in your life. The biggest thing is to use natural products like our nature has provided us, like our ancestors used to use, because our ancestors had very high testosterone. They felt great. They felt like how men should be. They had families and stuff. And obviously there were different problems in the world when our ancestors were like doing stuff, but like they were very healthy people. We have so many widespread health problems, illnesses, cancers. Like, it feels like everyone's always sick, quite frankly. Even for me at school, it's all, people are always coughing, feeling like shit. It's pretty sad. So do the natural choices. Literally look at things and think like the natural way you could do something. Drinking water, picking food, even getting like, I took off my like plastic like phone case because I just don't want that plastic on me when I'm on my phone. So just make those little switches. And if you're watching this video as a young guy right now, you're probably like, maybe I'll do some of these, but your future self will literally like love you for it. Your future self will thank you, because the choices you make today are going to shape your future, because you're going to be the same person just down the line. This may or may not be the difference between you having kids. Really think about that. Like, really think about that. So my camera's at 1%. I really hope this helps you, bro. I'm going to link down below some shirts, some articles where I got this water bottle, all this natural stuff, so you can help get optimal test levels, because I felt great since I've made these switches, and I want you to feel great too, bro. So hope that helps you. That's going to be the end of this video, and just keep the head up, keep pushing, and keep moving forward.